Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Richa Gupta, and I have done MSc Biotech, BSc Biotech, and B.Ed. And I am taking biology classes from 12 years. So it has been 12 years. I'm taking biology classes and specifically for the NEET. So we are going to start with the biological introduction. So this is basically CBSE class 12 syllabus. First one is the reproduction in organism, then sexual reproduction in flowering plant, then human reproduction, reproductive health, principle of inheritance and variation, molecular basis of inheritance, evolution, human health and disease, strategies for enhancements in food production, microbes in human welfare, biotechnology principle and process and its application, organism and population, ecosystem, biodiversity and conservation, and environmental issues. So these are some of the content we are going to study in this class. This is class 12 CBSE biology classes. And if we are talking for the NEET prospect, then some chapters have the weightage of one portion only, like the strategy, and some have the weightage of like 3 to 5 portion. For example, biotech or organism and population or the ecosystem or genetics. These are having very high weightage. So sometimes they ask like 3 to 5 portions from these chapters. So we are going to take all the chapters one by one, but here we are going to take first of all the ecological succession. So basically, what do you mean by ecological succession? See, if you can see a bare area, a rock or a mountain or a desert, and this desert or the bare area, if it is converting into a forest slowly, like over a period of 20 years or 50 years or 100 years, so the conversion of the bare area like the desert, rock into the forest is known as the ecological succession. So here one plant is replaced by another plant over a period of time. Some nutrients are forming and the soil is forming and the whole area is converted into the overall forest. So the process of conversion of the desert into the forest is known as the ecological succession. Then these are some of the members of the plant kingdom. Like first one, this is the algae. So you can see the algae here at the bottom. Then algae, जिनको हम काई या शैवाल के नाम से भी जानते हैं, तो basically they are aquatic. They are living in the water bodies and they are green, they are photosynthetic, they don't have any root, stem or leaf structure, and they are the simplest and smallest plants in the plant kingdom. तो जब evolution हुआ तो इसके बाद जो new plant आया, that is the bryophytes. Bryophytes you can relate with the moss. Moss, they are the bryophytes. So basically bryophytes, they are the first terrestrial organism. Algae, they are the first aquatic, but the bryophytes, they are the first terrestrial plants on the land. But they don't have any root, stem or leaf. They don't have any flower, but they are capable of doing photosynthesis and they are taking care of themselves. So bryophytes are the first terrestrial. Then जब हम evolution में बात करते हैं, then after bryophytes, it is pteridophyta. Now it is having the stem, root and leaf, but wood formation, जिसको हम लकड़ी कहते हैं, wood, they are absent in case of pteridophyta. They are basically ornamental plants, and if you can see, you can relate with the ferns. Ferns are the example of the pteridophyta. Then here comes the gymnosperm, and you all aware of the Christmas tree, the pinus, cycas, these trees, ginkgo biloba, the fan-shaped leaf. So they don't have any flower, but they're having wood, leaf, stem, root, everything. They also have the seed. So gymnosperm, they are the first seed plants. And here comes the angiosperm, and angiosperm comes with the flower. So फूलों का जो स्ट्रक्चर है, जो फूल खिलने शुरू हुए, वो किस में हुए थे? एंजियोस्पर्म. एंजियोस्पर्म इज द फर्स्ट फ्लावरिंग प्लांट. इनको इसलिए बताया क्योंकि आगे जब हम सक्सेशन पढ़ेंगे इन चीजों की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी। नेक्स्ट है lichen. These are the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. They are basically composite organism in which algae is photosynthetic and fungi is heterotrophic, and they live together. They are composite organism, and lichens, they are the SO2 pollution indicator. They cannot tolerate SO2 pollution. They cannot grow on the area where sulfur dioxide pollution is there, and they are the first species which colonize on the bare rock. So lichens, they can easily, they grow on the bare rock if the area is very good. I mean the SO2 is absent. Now, when we are going to study about the succession, then we have to know what are pioneer and climax communities. So pioneer, they are the name, as the name suggests, it is the first species. So pioneer is the first species which will colonize on the rock or the bare area, and climax community is the end of the end game of species of the succession. They are the last species which is going to commune communicate over the period of time. So they will be the last species, the climax community. And pioneer community, because the area is very new, it is bare, बहुत ही सब कुछ नया नया है, they are very less or no nutrients, less or no soil, कुछ भी प्रेजेंट नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से पायोनियर को खुद को स्टैब्लिश करने में काफी लंबा टाइम लगेगा। बट क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी, बिकॉज वहां पर चीजें अल्टीमेटली आ चुकी हैं, तो वहां पे सॉइल भी है, न्यूट्रिएंट्स भी है, तो क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी को खुद को एस्टेब्लिश करने में इतना टाइम नहीं लगता है। इट इज as compared to pioneer, it will establish themselves a bit fastly. Then these are all about the pioneer and climax communities. Now we are going to take about the primary succession first. So primary succession, it is a first succession. जैसे कि आप example देख सकते हो, here it is a bare rock, and bare means there is no soil, nothing. And bare rock, it is a dry condition. So dry condition succession is also known as the xerosear. So xerosear is a type of primary succession जहाँ पर पहले से कुछ भी present नहीं होता है, और जब यहाँ पर colonization होना start होता है तो यहाँ पर सबसे पहले आता है लाइकेंस। लाइकेंस, जैसा कि मैंने बताया था, दे आर द कंपोजिट ऑर्गेनिज्म ऑफ द एल्गे एंड फंजाई। इसके बाद आते हैं स्मॉल एनुअल प्लांट्स, देन पेरेनियल हर्ब्स, ग्रासेस, शर्ब्स, एंड देन इसके बाद में ओवरऑल फॉरेस्ट का फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है। तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि जो बेयर रॉक है वहां पर अभी कुछ भी प्रेजेंट नहीं था, अभी न्यू प्लांट्स आने शुरू हुए। जब लाइकेंस आता है तब ये एसिड रिलीज करता है, and they will break the rock and they will form the soil, and they will make the conditions suitable for the next species. So lichens, they are the pioneer stage, pioneer community, and ultimately the last or the climax community will be the forest. And yes, succession will take 100 of years. So this is the example of a primary succession. So xerosear, as I told you, it is a dry condition like the desert, rock, sand dunes, in which the succession is going to be taking place. So xero means dry or desert condition. So desert is converting into a forest. So this kind of succession is the xerosear succession. जहाँ पे desert एक forest में convert होता है, ऐसे succession को हम कहते हैं xerosear succession. Now प्राइमरी सक्सेशन, जैसे कि हमने बताया था कि प्राइमरी सक्सेशन वहां पर होता है जहां पर कुछ भी पहले से प्रेजेंट नहीं था, जैसे कि बेयर रॉक और डेजर्ट। इनफैक्ट कूल वोल्केनिक लावा, वहां पर भी कुछ भी प्रेजेंट नहीं है, अभी नया नया ज्वालामुखी से वोल्केनिक इरप्शन हुआ है, नया नया लावा निकला है। तो जो ये कूल वोल्केनिक लावा होता है वहां पर कोई प्लांट्स पहले से प्रेजेंट नहीं होता है, कंडीशंस बहुत न्यू होती है। तो यहाँ पर जो फर्स्ट टाइम सक्सेशन हुआ उसे कहा जाता है प्राइमरी सक्सेशन। ग्रेजुअली वहां पर धीरे धीरे करके फॉरेस्ट का फॉर्मेशन होगा। तो जो ये पूरा प्रोसेस है इसी को हम कहते हैं प्राइमरी सक्सेशन। प्राइमरी सक्सेशन में ही दूसरा होता है हाइड्रोसीयर। एक हमने किया जेरोसीयर, दूसरा है हाइड्रोसीयर. So you can see here, it is a pond, and in the pond there is a phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are a very minute small plants you cannot see from your visible eye sometimes. So phytoplanktons are very small plant, and when they grow, then they will make water a bit denser. So यहाँ पर सबमर्ज प्लांट फॉर्म होना शुरू हो जाता है. जब थोड़ा सा न्यूट्रिएंट आना शुरू होगा यहाँ पर, तब यहाँ पर क्या होगा, सबमर्ज प्लांट आएगा. देन ये और सॉइल को फॉर्म करेंगे. देन water become more denser, then free floating plant will be growing here. And then these free floating plants, they will make more nutrients, they will make water more denser. And here you can see the reed swamp stage, and then the marsh meadow stage, then the scrub stage in which a small trees are there, and then ultimately the end game of the succession is the forest. So this is the hydrosear succession. Xerosear, we see it starts with the bare rock, and hydrosear, hydro means water. It starts in the water. So ultimately a pond area is converting into a forest. So this type of succession is known as the hydrosear succession. Hydric stage is getting converted into the mesic or the moderate stage. In xerosear, we can say xeric stage is converting into mesic, and in hydrosear, hydric stage is converting into the mesic stage. Now comes the secondary succession. So primary, we talk like it is starting with a bare area where no other species are there. Like you can see in the xerosear succession, जहाँ पे bare rock था, कोई species नहीं थी. आपने pond में देखा, हाइड्रोसीयर में देखा, कोई species नहीं थी पहले से present. और ऐसी जगह पर जब succession होता है तो उसे कहा जाता है primary succession. अब इमेजिन करो कि कोई फॉरेस्ट फायर आया, कोई फ्लड आया और सब कुछ तबाह हो गया बिकॉज ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट फायर, फ्लड. और यहाँ पर कुछ पहाड़ों से जो पत्थर गिरते हैं या कुछ भी लैंडस्केप डैमेज हुआ. अब उसके बाद क्या होगा, सारे तो पेड़ मर गए, सारा जंगल जो है वो खराब हो गया है. तो अब उसके बाद जो नए प्लांट्स वहां पे ग्रो करना शुरू करेंगे, अब जब नया फॉरेस्ट बनेगा, उसे कहा जाता है सेकेंडरी सक्सेशन. अब खुद से इमेजिन करो कि जो प्राइमरी सक्सेशन था वहां पर तो पहले से कोई न्यूट्रिएंट नहीं था, कुछ भी नहीं था. तो वहां पर जब सक्सेशन हुआ तो काफी आसानी से नहीं होगा, क्योंकि जो प्राइमरी था वहां पे तो कुछ था ही नहीं. तो जो पायोनियर कम्युनिटी है उसे बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत लगती है, बहुत मुश्किल होता है खुद को स्टैब्लिश करने में. लेकिन सेकेंडरी सक्सेशन में जो पायोनियर कम्युनिटी आएगी, जो फर्स्ट कम्युनिटी आएगी, उसके पास तो न्यूट्रिएंट होगा क्योंकि वहां पे पहले से प्लांट्स मौजूद थे. बट क्योंकि फ्लड आ गया या कुछ ऐसा लैंडस्लाइड हुआ या नेचुरल क्लैमिटीज हुआ, इसकी वजह से वहां पर अब प्लांट्स नहीं है. तो अब नया जो जंगल बनने जा रहा है, जो नए प्लांट्स आने जा रहे हैं, वहां पर जो फर्स्ट कम्युनिटी स्टैब्लिश होगी, जैसे हम पायोनियर कम्युनिटी कहते हैं, उसके लिए कंपेरेटिवली एज कंपेयर टू प्राइमरी सक्सेशन काफी आसानी होगी. तो सेकेंडरी सक्सेशन थोड़ा सा सेम होता है प्राइमरी के जैसे, बट यहाँ पर जो पायोनियर कम्युनिटी होती है उससे थोड़ा आसानी होता है खुद को स्टैब्लिश करने के लिए. Again, here it is a forest fire, you can see here. And now there will be the pioneer community, there will be the transitional communities, and there will be the climax community. Transitional are known as intermediate species also. So here also the plants are almost same, they are similar, but the time of succession in case of secondary is a bit faster than primary, because यहाँ पे पहले से न्यूट्रिएंट मौजूद होते हैं. अब बात करते हैं, हमने प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी सक्सेशन पढ़ा, तो इसमें जो क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी आई, जो फॉरेस्ट है, वो आखिर में क्या कहा जाएगा, कैसे इसको डिफाइन करोगे. तो हम कह सकते हैं कि जो क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी होती है, इट इज द एंड पॉइंट ऑफ द सक्सेशन. एंड अब क्योंकि फॉरेस्ट बन चुका है, सो यहाँ पे नो और वेरी लेस नेट बायोमास का इंक्रीज होगा. और अब जो फॉरेस्ट है वो कैसा होगा, स्टेबल कम्युनिटी होगा. जैसे ओक, हार्डवुड फॉरेस्ट का एक डोमिनेंट स्पीशीज होता है क्लाइमेक्स कम्युनिटी का. These are the forest, you can see here, this is the end point of the succession, these are the climax community. Some examples of ecological succession you can see in Hawaii and Iceland, in Canada, in Ants. These are the area where sand or the lava flow or the sand dunes or the glaciers, they are now inhabited by many plant species, and you can see the succession over there, ecological succession. So these are some of the examples of the इकोलॉजिकल सक्सेशन। तो अगर कभी मौका मिले कभी जाओ तो आप यहाँ पर आराम से देख सकते हो। So here comes the comparison between primary and secondary. Like I told you, primary is the type of succession where pioneer species take very long time. But in case of secondary succession, the pioneer species take less time as compared to primary. And primary succession occurs where no soil exists, like the volcanic lava or the rock, bare rock. Then secondary succession occurs where some kind of natural disturbance was there, like the flood or the forest fire. So these are some of the example of the species, like the rocks, then the lichens will appear, then the mosses. Mosses are the pteridophytum, then the grasses, then shrubs, and then trees. So this is the case of primary succession. And in case of secondary, we have the soil, then it will be grasses, and then the trees. So in secondary, we have soil, but in case of primary, we don't have soil. Plant will release acid, and then they decompose and they make their soil. For the next one, these are some of the questions which are I'm going to ask about, like which of the following is true in climax community. First option is the community will constantly evolve and change. No, climax community we don't see like this. It will not change. It will be the stable communities, right? Second option, if one species die, a new species will fulfill the same role, isn't it? No, never. Then third, they are stable for a long time with the same species maintaining their population. Yes, correct. And then major change called climax every few hundred. No, isn't it? No, not every few hundred. So the answer will be the third one. Next is, which process occurs after a forest fire? After forest fire, like I told you, it will be the secondary succession. Yes, correct. Eutrophication, here you can see the option. So basically eutrophication is like algal growth, or you can say a plant called water hyacinth or the echinacea. It will just cover the aquatic bodies which is stagnant like the pond or the lake, and they make the water dead condition because they deplete the oxygen level, and this results in the death of the fishes. So eutrophication is like algal bloom, you can say. Then next is true or false. The climax stage of ecological succession is where the land is barren because as a result of natural disaster. Climax of ecological succession or the start of the ecological succession. So this statement is the false statement because climax stage is the end game of the succession. The land is not barren, and here basically soil is there and climax will be the stable community. So answer will be the false. Next is, what is the goal of the pioneer species in primary succession? So goal is to build the soil for the new species. So answer will be the 1. It will not slow down the succession, rather it will fast the succession process. Next is, what is ecological succession? So options are competition between plants, no. A natural disaster, no. The cycle of a tomato plant, it is it, no. The change and ecosystem experience, yes. The answer will be the 4th one, correct. Next is, what triggers or begins secondary succession? Secondary succession starts with a forest fire or flood. So answer will be 1. Then starts with bare rock, followed by lichens. Answer bare rock. Answer will be the primary succession. Yes, correct. Then succession that occurs in an area where soil is already present. If soil is present, then it will be the secondary succession. Yes, correct. A stable ecological community that has reached equilibrium. If it reached equilibrium, it must be the climax community. Yes, right. So this is for all today. I hope you will enjoy the class, and if you have any problem, you can always share with me. You can ask anytime. Okay. Thank you so much.